मुमकिन और नामुमकिन बस इतना सा फर्क, धूप छांव में फर्क बस इतना सा। तो बस चलिए फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया के साथ ये फर्क मिटा देते हैं। फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया, 20 years of ideas.
A very good afternoon to all and each participants who have joined us today for our Business Opportunity Over Chai webinar series. I, Archana Sharma, along with the entire team of Franchise India, welcomes each one of you to our 342nd edition of this series. This is a digital representation of the brand and business opportunity we have got for you. Franchise India is Asia's largest integrated franchise solution company, which is helping day in, day out all the investors in getting the business suggestions from our side so that they can take a conscious decision of selecting the right franchise for themselves. With this introduction, may I welcome and invite management team of Franchise India, Gaurav sir and Sonia ma'am. This particular webinar is hosted by both of them. They'll be sharing their thoughts, their views on industry as well as on brand with us during the course of the webinar. The brand which we are representing for each one of you is My Playhouse, and we invite Ms. Hiral, who will be talking about. She'll be talking about this particular brand. The brand which is having a name in the education field. It's a recognized play school from Gujarat, and we'll try to get the correct and complete understanding from her. But before I formally invite her to take us through the entire presentation, I would like to invite Sonia ma'am to talk about our different initiatives and events we have got for you under Bharat Franchise Show and Investor Advantage. Over to you, Sonia ma'am.
Thank you, Ashna, and a very good afternoon, friends, for joining in the Business Opportunity Over Chai. And I also welcome Hiral ji for coming and presenting the business proposition to all our investors who have joined us. And friends, as we understand, business buyers of today, they need not just product information, but a lot of insights before they decide to invest in a business. So through the Investor Advantage program, our teams at Franchise India are advisors across 87 cities in India. They work very closely with every investor through their entire series of purchasing stages, which starts from information stage where you're looking at options and information on brands to the evaluation stage where you need some insights and in-depth understanding of the opportunity, and finally to a closure stage which is signing on the dotted line, which is the agreement. So all through these stages, which typically would be a period of say 45 to 90 days on an average, our teams work with you to help you finalize and evaluate these opportunities through the IA Advantage program. And also talking about the initiative that we have taken. So apart from the business opportunity show that we bring to you every noon at 12 o'clock, we have also initiated Bharat Franchise Show, which is an event that started from the 1st of June this month. And this is a 100-day event where we cover every day a new city. So हर रोज एक हम नए शहर में जाते हैं और उस सिटी के हिसाब से हम appropriate opportunities select करते हैं, which can be given to or relevant for that city. So हर रोज हमारे पास जो brands होते हैं, we bring almost about 7 to 8 odd opportunities every day, जिसमें से आप choose कर सकते हैं, select कर सकते हैं, और ये opportunity शुरू होती हैं 5-7 लाख से, and it goes up to maybe a couple of crores. छोटी इन्वेस्टमेंट से बड़ी इन्वेस्टमेंट तक, फूड में है, रिटेल में है, वेलनेस में है, एजुकेशन में है. वी हैव लॉट ऑफ बिजनेसेस फ्रॉम टेक्नोलॉजी लाइक फिनटेक, एडटेक. सो बहुत सारी अपॉर्चुनिटीज है जो हम कोशिश करते हैं हर रोज लाने के लिए. और इन 100 दिनों में हमारा एक ये भी कोशिश है कि हर रोज एक नई अपॉर्चुनिटी जरूर हम लॉन्च करें शाम को भी. सो आई विल रिक्वेस्ट एवरीवन हु इज लुकिंग एट बाइंग अ बिजनेस, 12 बजे का शो जरूर अटेंड कीजिए. हर रोज एक नई अपॉर्चुनिटी हम लॉन्च करते हैं और ये शो तकरीबन 1 साल से ऊपर हो गया है. हमने कोई भी बिजनेस अपॉर्चुनिटी हमारे 12 बजे वाले इवेंट में नहीं रिपीट की है. और दूसरा हमारा शाम का शो है जो ये 100 दिन तक चलेगा. हर रोज एक नई अपॉर्चुनिटी वहां पे आपके लिए हम लेके आएंगे. और इसके साथ मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगी अर्चना को, वी कैन फॉर्मली इनवाइट हिरल जी टू स्टार्ट द प्रेजेंटेशन. एंड वन मोर थिंग फ्रेंड्स, अगर आप रजिस्टर करना चाहते हैं इन सब शोज के लिए, आई विल ऑल्सो सेंड यू लिंक विच आई विल रिक्वेस्ट अर्चना इफ यू कैन पुट दैट लिंक इन द चैट बॉक्स and you can register on that link. This is a complimentary registration for any investor who wants to look for opportunities. And I will also make a suggestion, जब भी आप इन सब events पे आते हैं या afternoon या शाम वाले event पे, also ensure that you also bring some of your inner circle. आपके friends होते हैं, आपके family members हैं, who are also either participating in that business, or they work as your advisors. So over to you, Archana.
Thank you so much, Sonia ma'am, for sharing insights about our Advantage program as well as Bharat Franchise Show. Now we formally invite Ms. Hiral. She'll be talking about this particular brand and the kind of the business model she has got for us. Thank you so much, Hiral, for joining us today. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Archana, and thank you, Ms. Chaudhary, for giving us, my own Playhouse team, an opportunity to talk to all the investors that you have on board today. Franchise India is certainly a great platform, and we are really grateful for your support here. So I believe that for the first part of this meeting, I will be talking a little bit about my own Playhouse and the brand that we have, and the proposal that we actually have for all the investors, followed by which I believe there will be some question and answer sessions. So I will be sharing my screen. Is that okay, Ms. Chaudhary?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you.
Please go ahead.
Second, I'm just gonna go ahead. Okay, so can everyone see my screen? Good, wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful, thank you. So the name of the brand is My Own Playhouse, and this is something which has been started by my mother, Maya Kothari, who's the founder, and this brand is more than 30 years old. So let us just start off with the presentation. I'm mainly going to be talking about three different topics. One is giving you a little bit of an insight into the brand. What is the opportunity that we foresee in India over the next few years? And the third, I'm going to be talking a little bit about the proposal that we have. At the end of which, if there are any further questions that you have, I will be more than happy to take them. This is, one image of the kids at our play school celebrating Diwali. A little bit of Rangoli making going on there. About us, so My Own Playhouse started on 15th of June 1990. On 15th of June this year, we would have completed 31 years. It has been a very long journey, and we certainly have a very long way to go. What is really, very heartening about this particular brand is that throughout 31 years, the company has, the play school has always been in profits. It's always been self-sustainable. And that is what really gives us the conviction to bring this proposal forward to the investors, because we know that this is sustainable and this is something that is going to help our investors grow, as it has helped us grow over the last 31 years. We have seen, the details. We know what works. We know what doesn't work. We understand what are the issues that kids face. We understand at what stage we need to get, some of the professionals involved. When do we, notice that there are some kids who are facing possibly speech delays, or, there is some issues pertaining to developmental, which, the sooner we address them, the more probability of kids, turning out stronger and overcoming any issues that they might be having during the earlier years. So My Own Playhouse is historically, and for a very long time now, focused on ensuring that the child develops in a holistic manner. It might sound like a cliche, because that's what all the play schools or a lot of other play schools might be talking about. But actually, to go down to the level and ensure that we have a very, detailed and structured syllabus. We know that at which age the kids need to understand and needs to be cognizant of what concepts, what is the level of their motor skills that they need to develop, at what level their fine motor skills need to be developed. We understand what what is the retention, possibility of how soon can they revert to questions. So keeping all of this in mind, we have a very, interesting plan which focuses on lots of activities, which focuses a lot on games and a lot of, you can say role play to an extent. So keeping all of this in mind, we know that we have, we've shared a lot with our parents. The parents who have been associated with My Own Playhouse have been historically extremely happy with the way we approach our syllabus and the way kids develop at our preschool. And we believe that it is about time that we take this further, we kind of notch things up a little higher, and we ensure that not just us, but we are able to support a lot more investors, especially young women who wish to be independent, who wish to ensure that they have a long-term sustainable business, or investors who have space, possibly, which they wish to figure out a good way of utilizing that space. So we are primarily talking about being, in touch with those investors, and to help them be associated with a brand which is going to ensure that they give the best to the students and the parents who are going to be coming to their premises. So today we have kids who have graduated 30 years back, 26 years back, 25 years back, come back to us and say, oh, I've become a doctor and I've done so well. And it is so heartening to see the kind of growth that a child has all through these years. And of course, the schooling plays a very critical role, but having a strong foundational, level education is what really becomes the deal maker. Because if the child has a strong foundation, then there is nothing that is going to stop the child from really picking up a lot more at school and learning the concepts a lot more in detail, faster, and having a very positive atmosphere. Secondly, of course, we are extremely competitive in the market, considering the kind of structure that we have, considering the kind of emphasis we give to our students and the systems that we have. Moving on to the next page, this is, our principal ma'am, Maya Kothari, who founded this play school, and she happens to be my role model. I have always looked up to her ever since I was very little, because she has always followed her heart. She has never shied away from believing that if there is something that she wishes to do, there is nothing that is going to stop her. And with a person like that, who's going to be heading a team like My Own Playhouse, I believe everyone who's going to be associated with the play school is only going to be, getting a lot from that positive vibe and that energy. That infusion of new ideas and the innovative mindset is something that is completely, it's contagious. So it's certainly contagious is the right word. And this is something that I would want to emphasize on. She believes that nothing and no one is perfect, but when we are continuously evaluating ourselves, there is always scope for innovation, improvement, and that is all that matters. That is myself, Hiral. A little bit of a background about myself. I am by profession a chartered management accountant, and I also happen to be an ICF certified executive coach. I have worked historically with companies such as Blackstone Franks London, Rolls-Royce in the UK. I've moved between Derby, Bristol, Bangalore. I've worked with Goldman Sachs Bangalore, and currently I also head the accounting and projects estimation teams at a hospitality, at a company in hospitality industry called Wang Professionals Private Limited. So my own playhouse and what my own playhouse does to be somehow associated with education has always been my dream, and it has taken me a little longer, needless to say, to really push myself into this direction. But nonetheless, I also am a partner at my own playhouse, and I have just one simple intention, which is to ensure that the good work which we do at my own playhouse is something that kids across the country benefit from. That is the only intention that we have. And a strong foundation, as I mentioned earlier, a strong foundation during the formative years is what is going to be the deal breaker or the deal maker for the kids when they join school. So to give you a little bit of an idea, we have kids who go to different schools once their preschool is completed. So some of them go to school A, some of them go to school B, some of them go to school C. And we also understand the kind of education or the kind of level that students are expected to have when they reach class 1. So we also need to ensure that we bear this in mind and ensure that the kids are ready so that they don't feel the burden at that stage. So my strength of managing the business, of streamlining systems, processes, coordinating, a strong financial background is something that is going to help us ensure that every single franchisee which is associated with us grows consistently and is as successful or even more successful than what we have been in the past. And most importantly, it is such a noble work. It is such a heartening, feeling at the end of each year when you see those little toddlers doing so well, being on the stage, performing in front of a hall full of, audience, speaking confidently, developing their own personalities, that you are certainly going to end up, going home with a sense of great achievement and would have achieved, earned a great reputation as well. And in simple terms, if I would have to explain what we wish to do, we wish to link our success only to yours. So it is, if even a single franchisee is not going to be successful, it is something that we are going to handle that personally. And it is actually going to be our job to ensure that we figure out what is working, what is not working, and to ensure that every franchisee which is on board with us actually succeeds. Moving on to our corporate philosophy, a little bit about our thoughts. So we very firmly believe that a child is a father to man. When you read that statement, you don't understand what exactly is it really referring to, or what is it that it's trying to say. But it's emphasizing that, where our personalities, our traits, our behavior to a great extent, are developed and formed when we are really little. Kids observe the atmosphere that they have. Kids listen to what their teachers have to say. Kids observe how their parents talk. So everything that the child is experiencing before the age of 5 is going to really impact how the child is going to grow up into an adult. And we want to really capitalize on this fact and ensure that we emphasize a lot on building character, on emphasizing a lot on the child being self-reliant, on our kids, we emphasize that our kids should know how to fold their clothes. We emphasize that a child should know how to serve water to their parents or grandparents on a tray. So we are teaching them motor skills. We are teaching them how to, show respect to your elders. We are teaching them that, you have to try and do your things on your own. And the child not only gets a significant sense of achievement at the end of it, but they also are imbibing all these qualities at a very young age, which, if they stay there at that age, trust me, when the child grows up, these things are not going away. These things are going to stay with them. And these things are visible when the child is actually, facing certain issues, some problems in life, and they know how to deal with them. They really become resilient. And that is something that we work on during those earlier years. And our emphasis, we do all of this in a way that the child is only having fun. So even though, unfortunately, I mean, I have to say unfortunately, because this is not what we really, encourage about kids sitting in front of a screen and learning. But even though under the COVID situation, we have our classes being conducted online, we ensure that kids have fun. We ensure that kids are continuously engaged, and kids have something to talk about at the end of each class. So that is a little bit about our policy, our views, and our beliefs. What is the system that we follow? So we follow a Montessori system, and that coupled with a thematic approach. So you would be hearing a lot about the Montessori system, across us. That is something that people talk about today. But so I'm going to emphasize a little bit more on thematic approach as well. So Montessori system is effectively play-based activity, and to ensure that sensorial activities are included in the curriculum to ensure that kids can really feel, and that helps develop their physical, social, emotional, and cognitive skills. But when we talk about thematic approach, we are talking about picking up different themes each week, and we try and ensure that our curriculum, our method of teaching is effectively in line with our themes. So thematic approach gives kids a better understanding in terms of, so let's say, for instance, if our theme is, if our theme for the week is solar system, we try and merge our language classes and maths classes around the solar system, so that without even realizing, the child is learning a little bit about solar system through fun videos or fun activities or role play. And at the same time, they're also working out of the concepts of maths and of language at the same time. So this is our curriculum, and we have our internal curriculum. We pretty much work on worksheet basis. We prepare, we actually see what is the level of the students that we have in class. We understand if there are any topics on which we need to emphasize more on, and basis that, and basis that we decide to what extent we need to go more in detail, or we need to focus on a particular topic, or we can pick up the next topic. So this is a little bit on our curriculum and our approach to learning. These are some of the photos of our school. So the first photo is from our annual function, from a dance activity, where you can see, all the little toddlers beautifully coordinating their steps. The next one is from one of the language area sessions, where the topic or the theme of the month was shapes. So we are talking about all kids dressed up or using some different shapes to see different items and objects and talking about them. So it is more about talk and say activity. The third one is we really focus a lot on gross motor activity, on sports. Even for our online sessions, we have a lot of activities which are focused on sports and games, and where kids have to stand up, sit down, jump around, get stuff. So they have to move around. They are not sitting glued in front of a screen throughout the session. So gross motor activity is, one of our annual function photos of 4 and 5 year olds participating in a hurdle race. Fine motor skill activity, again, a photo from, one of our classrooms. Math area, where you can see kids dressed up as different numbers. Storytelling, how we decorate our play areas, and, while we are talking about the story of Lord Krishna during Janmashtami. Yoga activities, art and craft activities. So it's 30 years. It's been 30 years of just work and collating information and data. And we believe it is now time to give that out and share this with everybody around us. This is one of the photos from our play school, where kids were all, dressed up as animals when the theme of the week was animals. So you can see the amount of effort that all the teachers, take, and of course, the parents that are usually associated with us are very sporty, and they really appreciate the kind of effort that goes behind all of this. Moving on to what is the sort of opportunity that we foresee in India today. I'm going to go through this a little fast because I believe we will be short of time otherwise. So effectively in India, we have two main segments in education. One is the formal segment and the other is the non-formal segment. Our preschools effectively fall under non-formal segment at the moment. And that is effectively where we are going to be focusing on at the moment. Overall, the education industry has been growing at 17 to 18%, whereas preschool segments have been growing at 24 to 25%. And we honestly do not see this going down. The population is going to, keep on moving from rural areas to urban areas. And we actually see, especially in tier 2, 3, and even for tier 4 cities, we only see that the opportunity is going to only increase as the years go by. So it is the right time for people to invest in a project of this sort. It is not a very, heavy investment package per se. And it is a sustainable business. So needless to say, it is a sustainable business. On top of it, if you are an individual who also has, space which you need to utilize, then there is nothing like, there is going to be no other business which is going to be more satisfying and sustainable than this one in the longer run. Again, talking about the CAGR, as I've mentioned, the preschool market is expected to continue growing at 23% CAGR. And this is something which is the reason why people need to watch out on this, in this space, certainly. Talking a little bit about last year. So last year certainly has been a little bit of a, bad year for preschools, because with all the parents being at home, it has led to a huge reduction, huge would be an understatement, huge reduction in the enrollment rates of students. And what this has done, in my view, is that a lot of preschools, which effectively you can say were established over the last 5 years or 10 years, have had to shut down. They have had to shut down because they've run out of funds, because they didn't have money for the rentals. The rentals kept on, going on. So what happens is that to be honest, we do not know how long COVID is going to be, maybe 6 months, maybe 1 year. It is very difficult for any of us to predict. But we believe that it has to go one day. It has to go within the next 6 months. It has to go within the next 1 year. It has to maybe go within the next 3 months. Vaccination drives across the country have significantly been in progress, and this itself will be reflective with regards to the cases going down. What happens is, once the cases go down, the industry is going to open up. And whether we like it or not, people are not going to be able to sit at home and work. It was very easy to say that, the entire model is going to shift to work from home, but no. If all of us have to be productive at work, I work, apart from my own playhouse, I work at Bank Professionals as well. So I know the kind of, and I have a 3.5-year-old, at home. We have in-laws at home. So what I understand, and what, all of us at my own think, is that it is just a matter of time that the economy is going to open up and people will have to go back to their workplaces. When people go back to workplaces, kids will also have to ensure that they go back to schools, preschools, and daycares. Kids cannot learn at home. So this online learning was a very short-term solution just to bridge the gap, to ensure that the kids don't lose out on those formative years completely. It was a stopgap solution just for a brief period. This is not something that is going to last forever. So, in the longer run, we are going to see that there is going to be a huge demand for preschools, for daycares, and for kids to have activities, extracurricular activities, classes as well. With a lot of during COVID, a lot of play schools and daycares being shut down, people who are able to invest today and be ready with their businesses in the next 6 months or in the next 3 months are the people who are really going to make the most of the situation, because demand is suddenly going to come up and there are not going to be that many players in the industry, and it is the time to actually go for the kill. So this is something that we strongly believe in with regards to what the education industry, especially pertain to preschools, is going to work out like. You might have questions on the new educational policy as well. So according to the new educational policy, we've got 5 years in foundational stage, 3 years in preparatory stage, 3 years in middle stage, and 4 years in secondary stage. From class 12 onwards, it's going to be effectively graduation. Until now, foundational stage was only until pre-nursery, until your senior KG. So from class 1, it was effectively considered to be schooling. But with 5 years in the foundational stage, what we are expecting is that up to class 2 is going to be in the foundational stage. We don't see, it only over the next few years, once the NEP is really implemented, we will know if even preschools can teach up to class 2. We believe it is likely that, the government might even allow preschools to teach up to class 2, which will be an added advantage. But this is something that, possibly time will tell. I'm going to skip this slide. So this is just effectively saying that Anganwadi workers and kindergarten teachers will be trained by the ECCE pedagogy programs, and they will be falling under the ministries of Human Resource Development, Health and Family Welfare, Women and Child Development, and Tribal Affairs. Moving on to the population, I mentioned a few minutes earlier that, we are going to be having more and more of our population shifting from rural, areas to more of the developed rural or urban or boom towns. So the franchisees have, rolled out to quite an extent in the metros, but there is a huge, scope and opportunity in boom towns and rest of urban areas and in developed rural areas. And this is something that we believe we can certainly capitalize on. This is just talking a little bit about the population that, we are talking about how the population. So, over the next few years, we are going to see that 77% of India's population is going to comprise of millennials and Generation Z. What does this mean? This means that these people are actually going to be busy working. The husband and the wife, both of them are going to be working, and they will actually need support to ensure that their kids have a good play school to go to and good daycare facilities. And having, having a good system in place, having a good market, around you is something that will lead to a good sustainable business for the next, quite a few years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. So we are here for the long run, and, it's going to be an interesting few years for sure. Moving on to the last part of the presentation, franchisee proposals. Our intention is, since, we have more than 30 years of experience in running the play school, and we understand the planning, and we understand the kids, we understand what is required from the, from ensuring that this is run successfully and ensuring that kids benefit the most out of, every activity that we plan. Our emphasis is going to be on Gujarat to start off with. We very likely might not even be interested in other states until we have established maybe 5 to 10 franchisees within Gujarat. We ensure that the brand name is a lot more strongly established, and then we plan to go pan-India. So within Gujarat itself, we have a population of 7.15 crores, as per March 2021 data. And there is a huge market in Rajkot, Ahmedabad, Surat, Baroda, Jamnagar, Valsad, Navsari. You talk about a lot of these smaller towns and cities, there is a huge potential. And our fee structures are something that these smaller towns and cities would also be able to afford. In fact, another thing is that a lot of these smaller towns and cities have not been impacted by the lockdown to the extent the metros such as Bombay, Delhi, or Bangalore for that matter have been impacted. The smaller towns have not had complete lockdowns and the economy is still up and running. Moving on, so in terms of our proposal, sorry, one second. In terms of our proposal, so we are proposing that we're going to be having three main formats: basic, large, and large plus daycare. The area requirement will be 2,000, 3,000, and 3,500 square feet. The enrollment capacity has been mentioned, and the investment, total investment, and this includes, franchisee fees. This includes cost required to set up your interiors, all the office equipments that you require, everything. That will be about 16.5 lakhs to 30 lakhs, depending on the size of the franchisee that you wish to keep. We are keeping our franchisee fee as standard, as 2.5, irrespective of the format that you would like to go ahead with, considering that you may want to start off with a basic franchisee right now, but as the franchisee is getting established and getting good response in the market, you might want to scale it up. So we don't want to get into that zone wherein we are saying that it's 2.5 now, or you are now going to a larger structure, so you please pay us a little more. So we want to keep things simple. Our intention is to make this as fair and as simple as possible, and hence we've kept our franchisee fee fixed at 2.5. We've mentioned the royalty amount that we would be expecting, and this royalty amount is what will take care of every planning activity which is required at your play school. Is something that is going to be done internally by our teams. Moving on to the next slide. So why My Own Playhouse? First of all, it is a very, very well-known, recognized brand in preschool. You can check out our Facebook page. We have more than 31 years of experience, and people in Rajkot really have only good words to say about our school. Even some of the very good schools, even though they cannot directly say that, why don't you send your kids to My Own Playhouse? We have had parents who have come to us saying that, oh, I went, to enroll my child at XYZ school, and the teachers there said, well, your child has not really, a thorough understanding of the basic concepts. Why don't you send them to My Own Playhouse? So considering that we effectively compete with some of these, schools, that sort of a recommendation coming to the parent from the teacher speaks really volumes about the kind of effort, that we put in, and the name that My Own Playhouse carries in the city for that matter. It's going to be a quick setup, running a preschool, because we know this very well. We have our team of designers. We know who are the suppliers we work with, and we can certainly help with very good rates with regards to centralized procurement of study materials and advertisements, and recruitments as well, for that matter. Now, what matters is that we are not going to be holding investors by the neck and say that you have to buy only from us. We are going to highlight that this is the sort of quality that we are expecting. If you manage to find a better and a cheaper alternate to buy this from your end, we would be certainly okay, but it would require to be approved from our end, just to ensure that we are not compromising anywhere on quality. So there will be no compromise on quality. We are going to try our level best to ensure that you really you really have the returns better than what you are expecting overall from this particular business proposal. In terms of experience and expertise, I've really covered a lot. We have very strong people who are supporting us, and we know where to seek guidance if there is any specific guidance required for any kids during the course. Marketing and coverage. So we are going to be focusing quite a bit on local marketing support and to support for indoor and outdoor events, as well. So historically, we have focused only on work. We haven't focused on marketing, but the times are changing. And as the presentation started off, the Franchise India presentation started off, bas itna sa farak hai. तो बस इतना सा फर्क है for us to really ensure that we change this into just one person benefiting to a whole bunch of investors benefiting from this particular proposal. Moving on to the key support functions that My Own Playhouse would be providing, we're going to be having, of course, central setup and operation. So we are going to be supporting and helping with site selection, center development, sourcing of equipment, toys and consumables, any operational support that you require with accounts, paperwork, taxation, things like that. We would be able to help you and guide you internally. Training would we would focus on ensuring that there is sufficient training given to all the teachers, because the last thing that we would want is that any of the teachers are not trained properly. We cannot risk a 30-year-old reputation in the market just because we lax on providing quality education. So that is something that there will be no taking it easy on that aspect at all. And of course, we are going to focus more on having more strategic tie-ups to bring in more advanced teaching methods as we progress. We have a very active social media and a digital marketing page for that matter. We are going to be, having a lot of events that are going to be carried on by My Own Playhouse, and we are going to ensure that all the franchisees also are able to participate in some way or the other to ensure that they are also able to market themselves that much more stronger. Moving on to who are the kind of potential investors that we are referring to, we are more talking of women entrepreneurs per se. We are talking about people who would wish to have a strong, sustainable alternate source of income and a helping hand in their day-to-day, functioning. And the requirement is absolute. I mean, I would emphasize on the word absolute passion to work with children. They wish to have, good work-life balance, and they wish to have a financial independence. So if this is something that you are looking at, then please do reach out to us, and we would be very happy to see if there is something that we can work out together. So there are different types of franchising, that happens. One is direct, one is possibly area, regional, national. So what we have spoken about specifically is area franchising, wherein within an area of 3 to 5 kilometers, we will ensure that there is no other center which is approved, so that at least those individual investors get that much of advantage, and that market is stronger. Plus, we will also be open for companies who are looking at bigger opportunity, like they would want to consider multi-unit franchisees or even master franchisees for that matter. But it is something that we believe more people will be interested at the moment in area franchisees. But should anybody be interested in otherwise, we are more than willing to discuss. This is just brief about the master franchisee proposal, wherein there would be a development obligation of 10 centers at a stipulated time, and master fee of 1 lakh per center to sign up, and after that fee share will be 50% of franchisee fee and 50% royalty. So this is something about the master franchisee agreement. And I believe that with regards to why I joined, this is our principal again at one of the annual functions, A Child on Stage. Why join hands with My Own Playhouse team? I have already emphasized enough on this. So I will say thank you to Franchisee India for your time and your for giving me this platform. And back to you, Ms. Sonia. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Hirilji. And friends, I would add, this was a very wonderful presentation, which you explained thoroughly and articulated very well on the overall system and processes which the school offers. And India per se holds a very important place in the overall global education industry. And it's amongst the largest and extensive network of schools, universities we have in the country. And as Hirilji mentioned, we have a big population in the country, which is in the age group of 0 to 14 years, which also gives a reason for the growth of the preschool sector. And a lot of people are worried. I did see a question on the COVID situation. I also have, a lot of toddlers in my family, and every year they do take admissions in the online classes. Even with this situation, all the schools are flourishing. While the business comparatively has come online, there's hybrid learning which has become the norm of the day, or I would say the new normal. So I'll take some questions, Hiral on the business model. And just to
Sure.
reiterate, I'll just quickly say there's an area requirement of 2,000 for a smaller format, which goes up to 3,000 for a bigger.
Correct.
And if you add a facility of daycare, there's additional 500 which is added.
Correct.
And overall investment starts from 16 odd lakhs, which goes up to 25 approximately, and 12% is the royalty that we charge across the three formats.
Correct.
My first question, Hiral, to you would be, because if you look at most of the schools, and I know, the kind of emphasis that you've laid on the quality of the output and, creating a strong foundation for these toddlers. That's what I could see from the entire presentation. And most of the schools, if you see, all these chain schools and other schools, they comparatively work on a very small infrastructure, which are very small rooms, which does not give enough room or space for kids to even move around. So here we're talking about an infrastructure of 2,000 and 3,000. So my first question would be on the infra itself. What are the facilities that we are providing in this area, and how differentiated these facilities or infrastructure is vis-a-vis the other schools which are present?
A very, very good question. Thank you, Sonia. So the facilities that we have a very, nicely, we've got different areas that kids move around to, because kids, we believe, get bored sitting in just one classroom. If you're just going to tell them that from 9 till 12, you have to sit in this one room and somebody's going to come and teach you, they will have no interest. They need to have something to move around. They need to have activities. So we have, a central courtyard where a lot of our activities are conducted there. We merge different classes together. So, we also merge pre-nursery and nursery, or sometimes nursery and KG, KG and senior KG. So when we merge students of different age groups, kids, you don't have to teach them. Kids learn when they are going to be in that atmosphere, interacting with each other. They see that an activity which a senior KG is doing really well, then the junior KG child who's sitting right next to that particular child will pick up, certain activities, some new tricks, and will end up learning that. You wouldn't even have taught them that. So we have a lot of activities that we conduct in our central courtyard area, which are usually a mix of different age groups, and we emphasize on that. It's necessary for kids to mingle. It's not that these are pre-nursery students, only pre-nursery students are supposed to sit together. Nursery students, only nursery students. So we are not of that opinion. Yes, when we are teaching a particular topic, it's easier for the teachers to, pick up and go to a particular level when we are teaching. So hence, when we are teaching a particular curriculum, or we are talking about a particular topic, so that we know exactly the detail into which we can go, we go age-wise. So that is one part, which we've got a central courtyard area. Then we've got a swimming pool, in our school, which of course, needless to say, kids love. We've got an audio-visual area where kids are shown interesting videos. And this is something that has been happening even before the COVID level. So our students were very used to, watching some nice, interesting videos and talking about it and having more clarity of what's happening. Then we've got, science area, maths area, language area. Beyond these, we've got a ball pool area, we've got an outdoor play area, and these areas are effectively decorated and set up in different ways. So, it just adds a little more interest and a little more excitement to the kids. And there'll be certain areas which the kids really love. They really love the decoration. They really find the atmosphere very nice. So when they move around, you don't need to have 7 or 8 classrooms, and plus you don't need to have another 5 or 6 or 7 classrooms for specific, classes to be conducted. Students can be moving around these areas and learning a lot more. So this is what we emphasize on. Not very small classrooms, reasonable size classrooms, because if the classrooms are very big, there's a lot of noise around, which the kids tend to get lost in. So we know that there are certain areas where there is one big hall, and there'll be one class sitting in one corner, other class sitting in the other corner. We also try and avoid that sort of an atmosphere.
Sure, that's very helpful. Hiralji, a couple of more questions, and I do see some from our audience also, and I'll pick that one by one. And my other question would be with respect to, because you mentioned currently, because of the situation, there are a lot of online classes which almost every school in the country is imparting, and that's been the norm for the last 1.5
years.
And looking at the current situation, and we are sure by the end of the year the situation would get better. We'll have everybody vaccinated, and we'll have maybe also the population below 18 years. We should start
Right.
getting into the
Hopefully,
vaccination.
fingers crossed. Yes.
Yeah, hopefully that should start happening. So what we're of the vision is, I think next 6 to 8 months we'll see things coming back to, or
Absolutely.
getting starting to get normal.
Yes.
And so in the interim, because we have just started with the month of June, and this is a month where almost every school has started reopening or would
Yes.
reopen maybe in a week's time.
In a
And
week's
so would
time, yes.
happen even for preschools, and a lot of admissions also happen in this time. And especially talking about the infrastructure, because I did see we have Mr. Milan from Jamnagar. He's keen to even discuss further. I'm taking this question on behalf of a lot of people who might be contemplating, and we all believe this is a great category industry to
Correct.
be in, but they want to be a little defensive on the investment. They feel
Yes.
not going to school and making an investment of 16 lakhs, 30 lakhs, will that be right? And they want to maybe hold on for a year and a half to make this investment. What I was thinking and wanted to pick your mind on, can we look at a model to start off with where somebody who's keen to get partner with your school, they can start with something like work from home, because that's what is also happening, I'm sure, with
Yes.
the teachers.
In the immediate.
And later on
Absolutely. So
upgrade to a infrastructure, so
Correct.
maybe I'm operating for 6 months. I don't need a huge facility hub.
Yes.
I do.
So we kind of finalize. I mean, absolutely. So things exactly what I mentioned, Sonia, that things will open over the next few months. It can be 6 months, it can be 8 months. If somebody is, but the person has to be sure that this is something that I would want to go in the long run. You need to have that conviction that this is an industry I wish to be associated with. And if people do that, and let's say that you want to start off with setting up a basic infrastructure right now, because when you start marketing yourself, per se, we can start initiating with recruiting the teachers, training the teachers, ensuring that the site where the play school is going to be established finally is at least finalized. If those people have the place, and if they already own the place, then there is nothing like it. Then the entire procurement of all the equipments and toys and decoration of the premises can happen later. It is something that we can certainly discuss if there is somebody who's keen and interested in the proposal.
Sure. And if you look at maybe a possibility like this, what do you foresee as an investment outside the infrastructure? How can one get started? I'm sure a lot of people might want to discuss on this, and it gives them maybe a 6 months, 7 months leeway.
So let's say that out of, if I'm talking about 16 lakhs, right? I will say around 9 to 10 lakhs will be for your maybe equipments and all the things that you require, maybe an additional 3 to 3.5 for setting up of your premises and painting and getting the characters painted on the walls and stuff like that, possibly, and additional maybe another 2 lakhs maybe for your things like laptops, computer systems and things like that in place. So depending on at least, so I will suggest that at least it is when you start a preschool, because this long term online is not going to work long run. So at least some basic investment should be done even at the upfront, because when you tell somebody that, oh, we are running a my own playoff school, then the person will be saying like, fine, we would like to come and see the place, right? So even if there is the lockdown today, before the parents admit their child, they come and visit the preschool, they come and talk to the teachers, they come and understand what is it that you have to offer. So if it is a complete shell, and if you're completely working from home with absolutely no play school in sight, it's going to be very challenging and difficult. But we can maybe tone down what is required immediately, so we can do it in phases, and what is required a little later. So you can say that maybe immediate upfront investment could be maybe more than 50% to 60%, and the rest can be done in later phases.
Sure, helpful. And my second question would be, I'll take this question from our audience, Mr. Vivek Sharma. So what he's asking is on the break-even point period, how long it takes to be there?
About 24 to 20, about 2 years.
2 years. Okay,
2 years.
I'll maybe further discuss on that. And
Yes.
also on the staff and teacher, he's questioning as to who hires them, how the training is done.
So training, go on. Sorry, I'll let you complete the question.
No, that's okay. I think the third question was on the COVID, which we already took.
Okay, so with regards to the teacher training, we will be conducting. So of course, while the COVID is going on, we will try and conduct online, trainings with the teachers to whatever extent possible. We are available, on call or as many over the phone or on Zoom calls, training sessions as required by the teachers or whatever support they require. With regards to otherwise training, we believe that it is necessary for teachers to be trained in person, and we would want that we would have our trainers who will go and visit those premises and train the teachers. Then we will have a scheduled program of at least 1 week where the teachers are trained, and if required they would also be coming back to our play school to discuss on that, to get some practical training as well.
Sure. And then what do you anticipate as far as, because we're talking about a break-even period of almost about 2 odd years. And what I saw in the presentation was also capacity of enrollment, which starts from about, I think, 120 students and goes up to 180 for a bigger format. Now, because especially for a school, any
Correct.
school, whether that's a K-12 or even a preschool, it takes time to reach that level of
So
enrollment.
this is considering that it's going to be minimum enrollment. So we are not starting off with that, you need to have enrollment of 120 students in year one. We are talking about having an enrollment of maybe 50 students in year one, maybe 50 students or 60 students in year two. So we are talking about stepping up at individual levels. So we are talking about a break even considering lower enrollment during the first couple of years.
And also the same student, in the lower grade will be upgraded to a
Yes.
higher class. So
Yes.
and this is how typically happens. And what fee are we considering here? Because typically, if you look at the fee structure, online has a different fee structure, physical classes have a different fee structure. And if you give some maybe light on how are we charging in these times, and what is the typical fee structure for a student? And if we talk about say 60 or 50 students in year one, how long does it take for somebody to fill in or reach that level of 50? And at the same time, I'll also add, because you would be going to a lot of new locations. What is the support you would give to maybe a prospective partner to market locally, help them reach out to student and acquire maybe?
So we would so with regards to, as I mentioned, like we have quite an active Facebook page, and what we would be doing is certainly we would be marketing them on our page itself. The activities they do, we would be marketing on that page itself. And when we market it on our existing page, they also leverage the legacy that we have created over 30 years. Because it's all out there, online. Secondly, we would be helping them, market, be it, through newspapers or through, seminars or sessions of this sort, wherein we invite people to come and we invite the prospective franchisees and invite parents to come and listen to what we have to offer. So we would be, willing to support them. But of course, with regards to the additional expenditure that would be incurred for the advertisement is something that we would be discussing with that particular investor on a case-by-case basis.
Sure. And what is the kind of teacher and student ratio that we have?
So we have around 1:10 or 1:12 ratio. 1:12, you can say.
All right. I think that's very helpful to know. And I think I did see the rollout locations, and I did see another question from Mr. Milan Trivedi on the investment. And he's trying to understand if this includes the working space. So while it includes the investment that you do on the infrastructure, but it does not include the cost of the property, Mr. Milan.
Of course, yes.
And if that's a rented or a leased property, then you take that as a part of your operating expenses. Your monthly expenses hote hain. Now coming on our monthly expenses, Hiral, what is our operating cost? Typically, what rentals are we looking at? What kind of teacher, ratio you mentioned, and how do we even go and scale up on the manpower? If you would like to talk about that.
Sorry, can you repeat the question? So you would want to understand
with the operating expenses, which include maybe your rental, maybe the salaries of the staff, teachers, and all put together. Typically, what is that looking like for somebody in the initial month, and I'm sure you have to
So per
add teachers as you
yes.
also add your
So
class.
it is included. So teachers, I mean, that will be part of, your working capital expenditure. So working capital expenditure, I will say, so depending on location to location, you can manage to get, a place on rent, maybe in tier, I mean, it will vary. So you look at a different city, it will vary. So it's something that we will need to discuss and consider when we have interested investors to see what is the rental amount. But we believe it should be maybe per month in the range of maybe 30K or maybe 40K as well. It should be in that range. And per teacher, we would expect that the salary could be in the range, because these teachers usually work half part-time. So we again target part-time teachers who are well educated, who have a strong aptitude to deal with kids. So their salary usually ranges in the range of maybe 7 to 12 or 7 to 15K, depending on the quality of that teacher and the capability and the experience per se. So depending on when we start off, we are maybe talking about, one person at the reception, and we are talking about at least, two teachers and one help staff. So depending on different stages, when we have the student enrollments, we are talking about maybe about, you can take an average of around another 40K per month as the salary, 30K maybe.
All right. And then your other expenses like your electricity and everything.
Correct, electricity, water.
All right. And friends, one, another suggestion I would have, especially for a business which is preschool, a lot of people who take these franchises are people who run and operate. They put their time in operations of this business. This is again not a very passive investment, and because most of the preschools come comparatively with lower investment, it is more of a return on time model where more time which is involved by a prospective partner, higher returns are. And in most of the cases, most of the franchisees that we have seen, especially in this category, every franchise owner also acts as a center head. So you act as a center head, and instead of maybe adding another resource to lead that center. So if somebody comes with that experience, especially a lot of women entrepreneurs, they can also be trained to run and operate the center, and maybe hire required teachers and staff underneath. So that was very helpful. Hiral, let's see if we have any more questions. Okay, okay, I think Milind would like to know what would like to have more details on the investment. If you could share the same, which is one-time investment, and the recurring cost, which is the operating. Sure, Milanji, we can do that. I think you're from Jamnagar. We have captured your interest, and also we'll be sharing with you the entire revenue breakup and also operating cost. And we can set up a time with Hiralji in this week itself. We are just starting of the week today. And in case you're available today, we'll try and set up your call between today or tomorrow. And maybe today we can send you entire information. And friends, all of you who are here, we have the rollout. So Gujarat being focused, and there are about 9 cities, which I think we saw in the presentation.
I mean, we would be open to any cities within Gujarat. So, within Gujarat, I mean, this is
the idea is to create a cluster and not to spread thin outside Gujarat. And so with that, I will request everybody who's keen to explore, want more information, want to discuss on maybe starting from home and getting later to a physical infrastructure. I'm sure a lot of questions we have in our minds. You can all reach out on the hotline number of Franchise India, which I'll put in the chat box. And also in the meantime, I will request Hiralji as a closing remark, if you can, share any message that you have for the entire audience who's listening to you.
So first of all, thank you once again. This has been absolutely phenomenal to be here on this particular, event, which has been organized by Franchise India. And if there is anybody who's interested, who's interested in education in any way and would like to be associated with us, please do reach out. We are the people who are completely hands-on with what we do. And we are looking for people to join us who wish to be hands-on as well. Unless if you are somebody who's more looking at, the franchisees should be operating the models as well. We have not considered that in our presentation. But if that is something that you wish to consider, then we are still open to discussing what is it that you have on mind and to see if we can work something out.
Sure. Thank you so much, Hiralji. And friends, we'll come back to you. You can, like I mentioned, reach on the hotline number of Franchise India. 11th June is the date that we have fixed as a discovery day So on this date, we can also do, I don't know if we can do maybe, Piralji, is there a virtual tour that we can do with investors?
Yes, absolutely.
Of
Absolutely, we can do that.
Sure. So we'll also request, we already requested Hiralji to also organize maybe a virtual tour where you can see through your Zoom links, the video of the infrastructure, and maybe have a detailed chat. And we'll block maybe a half an hour, 45-minute session with every prospective investors who wants more information on any aspect of the business overall. And Milanji, because I see a lot of inquiries coming from you, we'll touch base with you today, and we'll connect and fix up a time for taking your query further with Hiralji. Thank you so much for being with us, friends, and thank you so much, Hiralji, for being with us on the webinar today.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks. And
It has been a pleasure.
Thank you so much. I'll request Ashna to kindly take it over from here.
Sure. So thank you so much, Viral, for joining in today and all the preparation during dry run and rest of the thing for this webinar. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Sonia ma'am. Thank you so much, dear friends, for joining us today. We are organizing a Discovery Day on 11th of June, where you have a chance to meet Viral one-to-one. So please block your slot at our business hotline number, which is 9717683838. We are regularly sending various updates about different business opportunities as well as event through this number. If you save the number, you can get a broadcast messages from our site. You can also connect with us at different social handles, information on your screen. You want to revisit, rewatch this particular webinar, all the previously done webinar, you can also join us at the Facebook page of Franchise India Brands Limited. Go under video section so that you can watch them. Please join and connect with Sonia ma'am and Gaurav sir at their respective LinkedIn IDs to share your views, your suggestions, your feedback on our entire process. And today we want to invite you for our Mysore show under Bharat Franchise Show. We will start this particular webinar at 7 p.m. where again we are bringing top 7 different opportunities from different verticals. So do registration right now so that you can join us sharp at 7 p.m. And tomorrow under business opportunity over webinar series 12 p.m. we are inviting the team of Sanskriti Awas, where they will come and talk about the business model under FOCO, that is franchisee invested company operated model. So please do registration for today's Mysore chapter 7 p.m. webinar and tomorrow business opportunity with Chai at 12 p.m. webinar. Thank you so much once again for joining in today. Have a very safe day. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Good day.
Thanks, Cyril. Bye. Thanks, ma'am.